Man, we got a lot to talk about today. We have a significant law enforcement following here. We have great officers, men and women that love our show, and I want to speak to them this morning. We've got to talk about. I heard about a situation. I'll just throw this out there. And Connor, you might want to timestamp this because you're going to want to put this out later. I heard about a situation where cops were responding on a drug warrant, and the address had been used by a known felon to execute his drug activities. It was his banking address. It was the address that was on his driver's license. And in the execution of that warrant, they took fire. Shots were fired through the door that they were standing outside of, preparing to go in and execute this warrant. They returned fire, striking not the drug dealer, but his girlfriend, who tragically perished. And apparently, that's racist. And I have a really hard time with that. They literally shot blindly through a door. Now, is that poor form? Maybe, but somebody got indicted for wanton endangerment. So I think that's being addressed. But if you're a cop, if you're a law enforcement officer and you're listening right now, I would love for you to call this show. And I know we have some listening right now because you've texted me and you've talked to me and you've asked me questions and you've reached out on Messenger, and some of you I know are friends. And so if you want to stay anonymous, so be it. If you don't want to give us your name, great. You don't even want to tell me where you're an officer, fine. I'm okay with that. But I want to know what the SOP is. What is the standard operating procedure for taking gunfire through a door, executing a warrant? What happens when you go to execute a warrant on a known felon and bullets start flying through a door? Because what's funny to me, not funny, that's a terrible word. God, it's a terrible word. What's difficult for me to wrap my mind around, literally could not see through the door. They did not even know that Breonna Taylor was there. So I guess what they're saying is it was racist for them to get a warrant for a drug dealer and go and execute it, because that's literally all they can be accused of right now. It's really hard to be accused. If I was discriminating without knowing who I was discriminating against, I would just be a prick, not a racist. Discrimination literally means on the basis of color, or on the basis of sex, or on the basis of sexual preference, or whatever. You literally cannot discriminate if you don't know the person on the other side of the door. So that would be called indiscriminately. Literally. I know English is hard. We've established that. But if you're a cop, and the phones are lighting up, Will, we've got multiple people calling. We just missed a call, so if it was you that were calling, it's early. We don't usually get calls at 5:04 in the morning, 5:10 in the morning. So call back if you just called in and we missed you. Give us a call back. But we, I don't know. This is kind of on me this morning. It's kind of on me this morning. We're gonna riot and protest and do all that. Over this. We got a retired police officer on line 3, and he's out of a big city, out of Nashville. So bring it in here, John. I need somebody to speak some common sense to me.
Yeah, I was retired about a year ago from Nashville. We wore body cams, but we kept them on continuously. Now there's a couple of things people the news, the fake news is not saying.
Sure.
Well, there's two different types of entry. One of them is a knock entry,
right, where you have to make your presence
known.
known.
No suspicion. You don't have probable cause on the knock entry.
Right.
Now, if you've got probable cause, it's to bust the door down and go in.
That's what's called the no-knock warrant.
The problem is, he knocked. and he goes in, opens the door, and the guy shoots at him. Okay, so they have to return fire to save their life. Like, we could get shot pulling somebody over for a tail light out.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. He shoots at the officers. They return fire in the house. Miss Breonna, innocent, gets in the way and gets shot and killed. Now, they're prosecuting the officers, which really they should be prosecuting him for putting her in harm's way. Do you not agree?
Well, I did read where the Castle Law was the basis for him not being charged with firing at the officers, which I do also understand and I quite frankly appreciate. Now I realize that it's out of a place of it's not genuine, it's not sincere, because I don't care who it is that comes through my door without knocking at 3 a.m, I'm gonna shoot you. Period. I'm not going to, especially in that situation. It's a no-knock warrant. And on a knock, like you said, hey, open up. This is the police. We're coming in. We have a warrant. Boom. And then they go. With the no-knock, I mean, look, if you come through my door at 3 a.m. without making your presence known, I'm going to shoot you. And that's my right to do so. And so part of me says, yes, I mean, he did put her in harm's way without question, but he also was in the process of protecting his castle, which fortunately, that's in the state of Kentucky, they have a castle law.
That's true, but the officers did make themselves known to that door while they were knocking for up to almost 30 seconds.
Well, that's not the way I understand it. I understand Breonna Taylor's case to be a no-knock warrant.
Well, then you've got a witness right above that room that says, yeah, he heard the officers announce their presence.
Yeah.
So you've got a witness that says that, yes, they did announce their presence. So,
that just seems weird to me. Let me ask you, John, let me ask you a question. If you're a retired PD. If you have the opportunity to serve a no-knock warrant, are you not going to use the element of surprise?
You've got to, and you've got to expect the unexpected.
That's right. No, I'm a military.
Completely different.
I'm a military veteran, and so I'm not a complete stranger to tactics and that sort of thing. And so I'm not, I have said very plainly that the way these cops are being treated is wrong. But we also need to be consistent in saying, look, if this is a no-knock warrant, the reality is, I don't care what the witness says, if I'm being honest with you. Because if those cops chose to knock and make themselves known on a no-knock warrant, then they're fairly bad at their job.
Yeah. I agree on that part.
So,
but
John,
I'll tell you something.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Real quick, and then I got to go. I got one of my grandkids waking up. But it's like Chris Rock said. Man, I respect Chris a lot. He said, if a police officer pulls you over, you do what they tell you to do.
That's right.
If they want you to slap yourself 5 times in the face, that's what you do. you don't resist arrest.
No,
it never ends
that's
up
right.
well for anyone.
No, that's exactly right. John, thanks for the call, buddy. I appreciate that. And if to the other caller who was dialing in, feel free to call back. We are manning the phones. We will answer. We'll get to you. Sorry about that, folks. John, thanks for that call. That was a great call. When we get back, we'll kind of let's break that down and talk through it a little bit more. But this is going to be a topic of conversation a lot today. So let's like I said, let's go to a break, and when we return, we will break down John's call. We'll talk about what what it is he's talking about and kind of go through this a little bit more. You're listening to Hometown Heartbeat. I am your big, beautiful, bearded host. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Hometown Heartbeat. I am Zach Walker. I'm your big, beautiful, bearded host. Check it in this morning. We've got producer Connor over here making me look pretty. And you've got Will Hampson over there on the ones and twos spinning the hits, making magic from control room at home base. So we're keyed up and ready to go this morning. We've got Breonna Taylor's indictment came out, or lack thereof, I guess you would say, and that has got the whole world incensed. And we just spoke with John, who's a retired Nashville police officer. John, thank you for calling. Take care of those grandbabies. And that was neat. That was cool. And obviously the man's a genius. You know, he's got grandkids. He's going to wake, as they wake up, they're going to be listening to the show. We're out of focus again. We're live streaming this morning back onto the tube, the old YouTube. Connor, zoom it in just a little bit. I think it's the camera. I moved that one, and it's really got things messed up a bit. But anyways, we are on the YouTube stream. If you guys are interested in joining us via live stream, that option is available to you every single day at our YouTube channel. It's called Hometown Heartbeat with Zach Walker, and we share it back on Facebook, but the video doesn't go to Facebook any longer because, well, Facebook is an absolute bear to try to deal with. So that being said, we were talking with John a little bit about Breonna Taylor and about he retired PD, and our accounting of his and mine accounting of the story is slightly different. And so I want to try, and what I'm working on finding right now is the police report, and I want to hear, I want to hear the testimony from yesterday, because some of the things that he said and I said actually really do matter a ton, because I said through the door, he said they opened the door, I said no knock, he said knock. Those are two very, very, very pertinent details. So if you know more about the case than I do, which wouldn't be hard, give us a call, 256-7. Oh, my gosh. I almost put my cell phone number out there just out of habit. 866-494-9866. 866-494-WVNA or 678 on radio. If you want to call us there as well, you can. We are trying to get this accurate. I want to speak accurately to this. And so we'll probably talk about this kind of throughout the course of the day today, because, well, it's important. Did you see what Colin Kaepernick said, Connor?
I did not.
Go pull that up for me while I'm looking up this timeline here. His tweet was precious. It was precious.
Abolish the police, so what you're referring to?
Yeah. But read the actual quote, the tweet itself.
The white supremacist institution of policing that stole Breonna Taylor's life from us must be abolished for the safety and well-being of our people. Hashtag Breonna Taylor. Hashtag say her name. Hashtag abolish the police. That's a quote from Colin Kaepernick.
Wow. If that's not a insensitive, or no, what's the right word? How would you describe that right there? It's over the top. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? English is tough, I'm telling you. But essentially, this guy's saying that, her life was taken by racist cops, and therefore the cops must be abolished. Is that a fair and accurate assessment in your opinion, Connor?
To be fair, he doesn't call the cops racist. He calls the institution racist.
So he called every policeman racist. All police are racist. If the institution is racist, then thereby all police are racist, right? If the institution itself executes racism holistically from 1 to 100, right? Because that's what he's saying. He's saying from top to bottom, left to right, side to side, cops are racist. Therefore, the individual cop must then be racist. How would you have a racist institution without racist actors within the institution? If all cops loved black people and hated white people, wouldn't it go the other way? Even though the institution is allegedly racist this way? You see what I'm saying? Like, the institution's going to reflect the officers. It has to.
Yeah, you can make that argument.
And so, I mean, if that's the case, which I would find it hard to argue otherwise, then I don't know. I'm reading here. This is some of the testimony from yesterday. At 12:40 a.m., officers were in place outside of Taylor's apartment. Began to knock on the door. So maybe I miss. We got a call coming in. Will, Officers were in place outside of Taylor's apartment, knocking on the door. After a few knocks, they began to identify themselves. Knocking startled Taylor and Walker out of bed, and they began yelling, "Ask who's there." Walker said they don't hear a response. After a minute, police used a battering ram to knock down the door. Inside, Walker grabbed his gun. Yeah, so it says here a single bullet was fired by the gentleman in question, and then multiple rounds were fired upon Breonna Taylor and her boyfriend. John, our retired police officer from Nashville, has called back with one more thing to say. Come on in here, John. Add to it, buddy.
Hi, good morning, buddy. Well, just one quick thing. If you have nothing to hide, then you should be scared at 3 in the morning, and you should fire back when they kick your door in. But if you're a drug dealer, you do have something out. You should expect this 24/7. And the police union is is the main cause of this whole problem, because, like George Floyd that got killed up north, he had been written up 18 times for police brutality early in the morning. Sorry, no copy.
No,
yet.
it's okay.
But he was fired and hired at another precinct covered by the police union.
Yeah.
This is the problem. It's only a small percentage. You've got cops bad. You've got preachers that are bad. You've got every organization in the world that has bad people in it. But that's all I got to say about that.
No, I stick with. Let me ask you a question, John, because I think that's an important thing. I think that a lot of people out here in the world right now are saying that there are basically no white people that want to have that conversation, and especially no cops. And here you are, a retired cop, saying we need to address the police union because there is, and it's not a racist mentality, if I'm understanding you correctly, but instead it's a protect your own. And so those men and women, Chris Rock also said, like, there are certain professions where you can't have a bad day. If you're a pilot and you land the plane sometimes, you shouldn't be a pilot. If you're a cop and you're a racist sometimes, or you make the wrong decision sometimes, like, cops they're held to a higher standard. And so that being said, these unions are out here protecting their own to the point of enabling them. Is that what I understand you to be saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. They're protecting them because they do not want the reputation to have a bad police department. So they're going to cover their own in any case, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't really matter. They're going to protect them at any cost, what it takes. Just like the murder of George Floyd, like I said earlier. This guy was protected by the police union. He should have been fired permanently after 18 counts.
Yeah, no, I think that.
Whoa.
I think he should have been fired permanently after 3 or 4 counts.
Yeah, but most definitely after 18. Hello, and he gets hired at another police department.
Yeah,
down the road. Yeah, where he killed George Floyd.
Yeah. All right, John. Well, I appreciate that, buddy. Thanks for calling in, and we appreciate you for your service to the community and for what you've done in your career. And certainly, we welcome you into the smartest show on the radio. We love our police officers, our military veterans. We love you guys, and so I appreciate you listening. But you're not wrong, and that's where logical people, common sense people that aren't crazy, are willing to sit there and say, we need to address the system. People want to throw the word systemic around. We need to address the system at the system level. And if we're going to reform policing, we're going to do it by taking care of these unions, by holding. Look, when you go serve in downrange and you're in a war zone, every bullet you fire, you're held accountable for. And we can keep people from dying over there. Everybody's brown over there. You think if we have a racism problem, they'd all be dead. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Hometown Heartbeat. I am Zach Walker, your big, beautiful, bearded host.